Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty Group, and welcome back to this week's Pick 5. Now there are a lot of areas in the city of Toronto that you could consider if you were a condo buyer. Now some condo buyers, and of course depends on their age and where they grew up, they want to get as far away from where they grew up as possible. Others would like to get a condo but stay close to home. I recently had a client that grew up in the Summerhill area. When I said to the client, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to King West? Do you want to go to Corktown? The client said, I'd really like to stay around here. So to each their own, but the point I am making is that even if you are in an area that is dominated by houses, you will always be able to find condos. And today we're going to look at condos in the Yonge and St Clair area. Now, if we look at my map here, we can see, yes, indeed, thank you, that is the intersection of Yonge and St Clair. There are a lot of condos down here and a lot that we could look at, including 111 St Clair West, which is a beautiful conversion. It's got the big LCBO on the base, but I wanted to stay as close to Yonge and St Clair as possible while trying maybe to introduce a few more entry-level units into the Pick 5 today. So we're going to start over here on Jackes or Jackes. It's one of the most mispronounced street names in the city of Toronto. I believe it's Jackes or Jackes. Now, if you think of Jackes, you might think of, okay, this is from condos.ca, our good friend 33 Jackes, where the units start at 2,241 square feet. Yes, this is, and you can see here, built in 1989. 33 Jackes is one of the oldest buildings in the Yonge and St Clair area. It was built at a time when, the first wave were downsizing from Forest Hill, Deer Park, and 2,241 square feet was, consolidating. This building over here, 6 Jackes, I'm gonna stop doing that bit. This was built in 2020. It is called the Jack, which makes me think that it is in fact Jackes. This is 11 stories, 153 units, and this is just a little starter condo. It's $599,880. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath, 609 square feet. That puts this at $985 a square, albeit with no parking and no outdoor space. Little Juliet balcony, fine, it's enough. Some first-time buyers don't need any. It's on the second floor. You can see we're just a little bit off the ground. Excellent staging. They've done a great job in presenting this. It's very hard to sell any one-bedroom condo in the city of Toronto right now, but I think they did a really good job with the presentation. So you can see over here, right, we go back, wonder, okay, was this virtually staging? Sometimes the virtually staging is so good you don't even notice. And then here you can see, right, no furniture. So beautiful kitchen. You've got the bar, maybe that's instead of the dining room because you're probably not gonna have room for it. But I will say what looks like a higher ceiling, open concept floor plan, really, really nice finishes. To each their own, depends on what you're into, but for what, $985 a square foot, you wanna be in the Yonge and St Clair area, you want nice finishes, maybe that's what you had growing up. I don't think that you could do better than this. So the building itself, okay, there you go, second floor. Building itself, as I said, 2020, really nicely done. Let's look at some of the amenities photos. I don't know if you're using all this, but it's nice to have. And in newer buildings, they're really starting to do away with amenities because they can repurpose that square footage, make more units, and sell them. But in a building like this where you have only 153 units, it's a really nice gym for a building with 153 units. So I look at this that I think young person, you have no outdoor space, just a Juliet, but here's your outdoor space. Here's your common terrace. If you want in the summer, we recently did a Pick 5 about condos with terraces. I believe that was last week. It's a fun one, you should check it out. And the point I'm always trying to make is that it's, it's nice to have that outdoor space. And if you don't have it, like this unit in particular, you can certainly find it through these amenities. So beautiful building, love the location. There you go, it's a nice aerial shot. I will say that this unit sold in 2021 for $680,000. So in this market, someone's loss is your gain. This is $599,880 on the market 8 days. They're down from $629. It's basically down $90,000 from what it was 5 years ago. Great, great first-time buyer unit. Fees, $694, $114 a square foot. Higher than average, but for the area, I think you're gonna have a hard time finding cheaper. Okay, so really, really like that one. The next one, this is fun. This is 1 Balmoral Unit 313. Makes for a very interesting comparison because this building is 22 years younger than the one that we just saw. This is 1998, sorry, older. It's getting it mixed up. 649, but it has parking. Juliet, same thing. Fees $9.22. Okay, that's $1.49 a square. And then here you can see $6.18 a square foot. So Balmoral, one Balmoral, let's get rid of this guy here. One Balmoral is on the west side, and we had 6 Jackes was just here at the corner. So walking distance, you're, 2 minutes. If you want to, you could crawl there in 2 minutes up to Yonge Street. So take a look at the unit itself. It's not going to be as nice as the one that we just saw on Jackes, and it's certainly a bit more dated because it's 1998. It was my first year in university. I was downloading MP3s on Napster. I don't want to brag, but yeah. First MP3 I ever downloaded. What song was it? We'll come back to that in a moment. So you can see this is a very classic late 90s condo kitchen. We have kind of the short order chef window like this. You've got original granite. You've got an overmount. It's not an undermount sink, so I'm gonna call it an overmount. These are obviously newer than 1998. Some people want the fully open concept. There's nothing wrong with this kitchen here because what it does, and let's look at the flip side, is it gives you room for proper dining and living. Now the last one was beautiful. It was gorgeous, it was new, but you're eating at your bar stools. Here you have actually room. This is a really good floor plan, 618 square feet, and that's your short order chef window. So it kind of reminds me of the first condo that I had. Mine was only 575 square feet. I didn't need to have a dining room table because I was a single guy, and like any cool single guy, I ate alone in front of the TV on my IKEA dining table, coffee table. It was Ghetto Superstar. Ghetto Superstar, 1998. That was the first MP3 I ever downloaded by ODB, Pros, and Maya. It took 33 minutes to download that song on my 14.4 kilobaht dial-up modem. I'm serious. Some of you guys are older, you get it, and the younger people, I don't really skew with younger demographic, but I'm just gonna get skewered right now. Okay, so I like this unit. I think I like the one at Jackes a little bit more. So nothing really to write home about here other than to say 9 stories, 133 units, built in 1998, as I mentioned. It's priced at $10.50 a square, but it has a parking space. So if you're comparing to the one at Jackes, that might be the reason why. It is, as you can see here, sold conditionally, so somebody likes it. Okay, next one we're going to look at is 1430 Yonge Street Unit 704. Now, irrespective of this unit, I will say one of the most difficult sales I had in my career, young Matthew and I, in his first year of real estate, we had to list a unit that was in this building on the 2nd floor, and it was about yay from the building next door. So they had this terrace, not terrace, they had a balcony, and you were right up against the building next door. And the sellers, God love them. I love positivity and I love optimism, but when you try to say somebody like, hey, you're dripping blood and your ear is falling off, and they're like, I like it. That's what we get in real estate sometimes. No one wanted this condo because it was like this against the unit next door. And they were just like, we don't care, we love it. One of the hardest units I've ever had to sell. I will also say that not too long ago, or maybe it was because time's moving quickly, there was a huge fire at the Badminton and Racket Club next door. And all these units got marshmallowy smoke. No, it was like the bad kind, like the black plume sort of type. So 1430 Yonge, when I hear that building, that's what I think. This unit, however, faces south. Now I wanted to show you this. 1430 Yonge, I've always admired this. Now if there's such a thing as curb appeal in a condo, there it is. Very nice, right? From the front, if you're driving by, it just looks like a 4-story building, and then it peers all the way up. Let's do Google Satellite. Here we go. Thank you. Right, and now you can see. Right, it's a lot bigger than it looks from just out front. You've got the cemetery here. You got the Badminton Racket Club. Right there's your courts. And I think the unit that we had to sell was on the 2nd floor. And see this building was like right up against it. And when they had the fire, all of these north-facing units got smoked. No pun intended. This unit, oh my God, we're not even talking about the unit. This is a 755 square foot, 2-bed, 2-bath. It is south facing. Look at that beautiful view. Forget what I said about our tough sale with the building next door and the plume of smoke. This thing rocks. This is south facing. I love the look. See some green outside. Kitchen, fine, maybe showing its age a little bit, right? This building was built in 2008. Yes, the Claremont. Okay, so you teased us with the first photo and now we're going back. Okay, so we got some broadloom. People don't like carpet, as it were. Showing its age a little bit, but the square footage and the layout, that is what I like. I love that peninsula kitchen. It's like my very first condo that I ever had. You've got room for dining. You've got room for living as well. You have 2 bedrooms on a split plan, and I have way too many photos of this kitchen. So I said room for dining. I mean, here, you don't have a monster couch. That's where your dining table's going. Take another shot there. And then check this out, guys. Boom. Cemetery. All right, so there's some people that wouldn't like that, and some cultures where they're like, I like it, it's just that my parents, they'll say no to it. I used to get that a lot. They're like, we don't care, right? And that's the thing about cultures and religion. As it goes down a generation, we get a little bit more detached from it. So I'm gonna say that I think that's cool. I'd say that it's dead quiet. I'm a dad, I have to make dad jokes, but you know what? It's green space, so I'd rather have that than staring at another building. So south facing, to me, I think that's very sought after and cool. You know, and you can keep an eye, you know, out for the grave robbers. Okay, so moving along here, what else have we got? As I mentioned, split bedroom plan. And yep, from the front. This is the point I was trying to make. When you go by, it looks like a nice, quaint 4-story building, but it is a monster, as you can see. So don't need to belabor this one too much, other than to say, well, 14 stories, 87 units, built in 2008. We had the B&R fire, and we had one of the toughest sales of my career. And Matthews was one of his first listings. Okay, 5 Rosehill. Man, I sold here a long time ago. I had clients that were like, we want to be in the area. We don't need la-di-da. This is where I took them. And you can see here, so this is what the City of Toronto is doing now. If a developer wants to build a condo, they're like, can you build pickleball courts just for the time being? So here's 5 Rosehill. And it's not a sexy building, but what it is a value building. It is steps from Yonge Street, or sorry, it's on Yonge Street. It's steps from St. Clair. This unit's $935,000 for $1,051. Guys, that's $889 a square. $889 a square, and your fees are $1,362, but that's only $130 a square. So 5 Rosehill, affectionately known as 5 Rosehill. It's 7 stories, 93 units. Built in 1997. Now this unit was bought for $830,000 in 2021. So you're seeing some of these other units, right? 6 Jackes is selling for less. 5 Rosehill is selling for more. Let's take a look. So rounded windows, you're never gonna find that in any new condo. Really nice living, dining, entertaining space, but obviously with this type of square footage, we're gonna get more than we did with those first few units. So kitchen's upgraded. Well, okay, it was upgraded, let's say several years ago. It's not what we would choose today, but look at the size of it, the amount of storage space, the amount of counter space. And when I refer to those peninsula kitchens or that short order chef window, those things were micro compared to this. This is a huge space. So bedrooms are big as well, and you're gonna get that when you get up here over 1,000 square feet. So they're not making them like this anymore. And if they are at Yonge and St. Clair, I feel like you're gonna be paying $1,500 a foot, or in pre-con 2,000 or what it were. So to me, again, value building for sure. One of the interesting things I remember was that the corridors had not been updated. This unit's been done nicely. Some of the amenities, yeah, this looks like it's been updated since the last time I was in there. They got the giant 3. Photos of the parking, I don't really know that we need that. The lobby, okay, the outdoor space. But as I said, value building, guys. Steps to St. Clair, and for only $889 a square. Okay, the last building. If we're doing Yonge and St. Clair, and you have any real estate experience, you're saying, how are you not on Delisle? Just say the word as snobby as possible as an exercise. And if you're at work right now, like in a cubicle, okay, I don't know, Delisle. Just say it a bunch of different ways. Delisle. It just sounds like a yuppie word. Oh yes, do you know Brittany and Jonathan, they just got back from a trip in Delisle. Delisle? Delisle? Oh, this is what Snoop Dogg would say. 53 Delisle Avenue, Unit 401. Delisle was always the panache. Delisle was the big money. There is 10 Delisle, there's 33 Delisle, there's 53 Delisle. They were beautiful condos, they still are. They were so sought after, they still are. I have sold 2 units in here in my career. Both were to single women in their 60s or 70s, right? Lost husbands, downsizing, you know, kids in the area. This building is awesome. So 55 Delisle. It's called the Carlisle. Yes, the Carlisle. 12 stories, 64 units, built in 2006. These aren't old buildings, guys. And if I had more time, I would show you a map or a Google Street View of 55 Delisle, 33 and the like. But where they are, actually I might as well do that because I'm going to show you here. Where they are, here's Yonge, here's St. Clair. This is Delisle, guys. You've got 1, 2, 3 buildings. And can I do this? I can. Oh my God, technology is my friend. I mean, I was downloading MP3s on Napster in 1998. So here you go. This is Delisle here. And you've got 1, 2, 3 buildings that are very, very sought after. They're all what we would have called mid-rise before, we're now calling low-rise, because let's face it, 12 stories is low compared to the 70 stories they're building downtown. But here you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you've got the church over here. This is on Yonge Street. They're tearing down, I believe, one of the big office towers and building, so you have a ton. They're building a condo here that looks, I drop my daughter off at school every day, it looks like a giant paper towel roll. It's cylindrical, right? And it's got some, anyways, you'd have to see it to know it. But there's a ton of development going on here. So Delisle. Okay, 1,795,000. This is down from 1,849. This is down from 1,895. This is 1,835 square feet. That is 978 a square. Now you might say, well, 978 a square. I mean, that's not cheap. For Delisle? For real Delisle, for a 3-bedroom. So some people don't need this. Or you're like, I can't afford $2,162 just on the fees. That's what I pay in rent. Look, put things in perspective. The person buying this, they're fortunate, right? They're wealthy. They have money. 1,835 square feet. This is a couple that's downsizing. Or the one woman that I had that downsized, yes, she was well off, but she's got a ton of grandchildren. She wants rooms for them. And you know what? She wants to live at Yonge St Clair. So I love this unit. I love this layout. Some of the features are, I don't say dated. They're just, oh, this is where I should have gone, guys. Delisle back here. So love these buildings. I'm gushing about it. Love this layout. Open concept, living, dining. And you know what? The windows for, now everything's floor to ceiling. For 2006, this is pretty darn good. You got buildings all around you, but you've got great natural light. It's a lot of square footage. So when I mentioned, there's a little balcony you're probably gonna never use, right? Delisle. So when I mentioned that some of the finishes are not dated, but they're not new, what I mean is when you get into this, the kitchen, and you're like, oh, I don't know, look at the triple beveled edge on the granite, on the countertop. Okay, that's why it's not $2.1 million. So no, it's not brand new. These might in fact even be the original cabinets from 2006, but what you have is space. You know what I love about condos like this? I'm gonna get to it in a moment. Ah, damn, they moved. Now I gotta go back. What I love about condos like this here. I love a little breakfast nook. It's the cutest thing. And you know what I love? A breakfast nook that's in like this little rotunda. I've got a client at 650 Mount Pleasant. They have that because you have the space for it. You don't have to go and eat at your formal dining room. I love the idea. And if you grew up and you had the dining room and the breakfast nook, or you had like the little table in the kitchen, I love the idea of being able to move into a condo and having that as well. So this is my favorite part of any of these condos. It's kind of silly, but yeah, I picture just some old person doing the crossword, actually in the actual physical newspaper. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of old people that are really into technology. When one of my clients the other day showed me how to do something on my phone, okay, did not tell her I was downloading MP3s on Napster 1998. But it's true. I love that breakfast nook. It's a perfect place for crossword. My mother does hers in pen and has whiteout. I asked her, Mom, why not a pencil? Can't teach an old dog new tricks. So here's a great shot. I could have gone with this instead of just shouting Delisle in an annoying way. But these are the kind of buildings, right? You do have some old apartment buildings that are mixed in. But this spot to me, guys, this is my favorite part. We're gonna go back here. This is my favorite part of Yonge and St. Clair. So you've got 1430 Yonge, as we mentioned, overlooks the cemetery. They had the fire not too long ago. You've got 6 Jackes over here. You've got the one at 1 Balmoral. There's some beautiful buildings as well that we didn't cover. And then you've got some absolutely gorgeous houses, Woodlawn, Farnham. I sold a house over here last year for $4 million. It was a semi. It was a semi. So you consider where you are. You're in pretty good company. You're in Summerhill, you're in Deer Park, you're at Yonge and St. Clair. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that look at Yonge and St. Clair condos. And I really hope that you enjoyed trying to pronounce the word Delisle, because it's kind of fun, it rolls off the tongue. Guys, thanks for joining me today. And if you'd like to get Pick 5 emailed to you every week, go to torontorealtyblog.com/pick5, sign up. You receive an email every Thursday, which is usually when we launch. Thanks for watching. If you have comments, leave them in the YouTube comments section below. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.